And the biggest thing is, just tell the truth.
Been through this game a few times. I was a detective for almost 5 years, so.
At this very moment, detectives are sitting across from one of their own, Officer Kenneth Blue. They suspect that Kenneth had been hiding a secret from his family, his wife, and every officer he worked beside. A secret tied to 32-year-old Jennifer Webb, found dead just hours earlier.
How'd you feel when you realized who it was?
I about threw up. It made me sick to my stomach. I mean, literally, I had to walk away.
For months, the two of them had been in an affair, and that affair had resulted in something Kenneth could never let anyone find out about, which would end his career, marriage, and his life as he knew it. And it's why detectives will realize that the man once their brother in arms was a monster all along.
Did you sleep with her? Yeah. Did you kill her?
With all that shit that we just talked about, man, it just stinks.
Why is it that I'm killing a suspect here too?
On August 30th, 2011, a tragedy unfolds when Officer Tim Patterson and his partner, Kenneth Timon Blue, of the Buena Vista Township Police Department are on patrol near their department's gun range. While driving through the area, they notice a Pontiac Aztek SUV parked strangely along the road with one of its doors left open. Beside that SUV, they discover 32-year-old Jennifer Marie Webb lying dead. Near her body is her purse, containing her driver's license, cell phone, and a typed note explaining that she had taken her life. Considering the crime scene and the lack of any initial evidence, both of them believed that was exactly what she had done. But Officer Tim doesn't realize he is stepping into one of the most carefully staged crime scenes in New Jersey, because all of their initial assumptions quickly change once the autopsy reports come back. In it, investigators find out that her injuries show no signs of self-harm, and instead reveal that she had been by someone else. It was clear that the killer had carefully staged Jennifer's death to make it look like she had taken her own life. Now investigators begin working backward through her final known activity, hoping to catch the killer. They start with one of the few remaining digital traces she leaves behind, her phone records. And sure enough, they immediately find something disturbing. Her call logs show repeated contact with a number saved under the name Ken Cop Boo. When investigators trace the number, it sends chills down their spine as they find out it belongs to one of their own, Officer Kenneth Timon Blue, the same one who first responded to the scene alongside Officer Tim Patterson. When officers from the department later speak with people close to Jennifer, they are told that Jennifer had recently mentioned meeting with a man named Kenneth Blue. All signs now point directly to Officer Kenneth as the murderer, someone who had sworn to protect the citizens, yet is now accused of doing the exact opposite. But is all of this just a strange coincidence, or is he really the one behind Jennifer's murder? That is what detectives are about to determine once he is brought in for interrogation.
What's up, man?
How are you doing? Good. I think we may have met years ago. Jason Petty, I trooped in Bay City. And
Yeah.
and all that crap.
Yep, that's just like.
I've been in this building probably 15. I'm sure you know the deal here. Al and I were called down just to assist with this scene. We got to talk to everybody, all the time. And so, you're probably going to have some questions for us too, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Been through this game a few times, so yeah, I'm sure I was a detective for almost 5 years, so yeah.
So it's nothing new to you, and I appreciate the fact that you know what the deal is, and we're just going through the motions here. But in any case like this, especially because you were done at 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to read you Miranda just as a matter of protocol, and I'm sure you're aware of them, but I got to read them. Are you willing to give up these rights and talk to me?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, that's. Again, just the formality and what I do. Basically,
Okay. Is that gonna do it all day? Man, you are one important dude.
How's your baby?
I'll just play it now. Yeah. Just mess around. Shut mine out too, so we all be.
This damn thing, I can't even make sense of half. But basically, can you kind of run down? Just tell me what happened tonight. What's going on here?
I was conducting general patrol. I've been up in the area of the North Number Streets. We call it North Number Streets. It's area north of Wadsworth. Been in there a little bit, patrolling around. I said it. 81 an hour for a while, working low radar. And then there's a neighborhood to the north of 81, in north of 81, west of Outer. One neighborhood back in there. I went back in there and kind of drove, just general patrol. Come out onto Outer Drive, went north, took a pass through the businesses on Freeway Lane, and then come out and went north again up to where we have our range. As I started to pull up, I saw the vehicle sitting there. I did it with my spotlight real quick to see if I could see heads moving or popping up. Sometimes we park right up there and whatnot. They hadn't seen anybody move. So I went up, I turned, and then turned back around, turned around. It goes, Outer Drive ends. You guys were up there. There's a little drive there that leads to our range, and then that drive over there leads over to the wastewater treatment plant. So I go up, turn around so that I can get a better angle on the car. So I drive in behind the car, focus the spotlight, and about that time, Tim's pulling up. So, I kind of looked at him, he kind of looked at me and said, "What do you think?" He says, "Oh no." So he started walking up from where he was at, 'cause he was still on Outer Drive. He was walking up towards the passenger side of the car, and I started to walk kind of towards the driver's side corner. And as I got closer, I saw the door open. The back driver's door was open. Took a few more steps, and I saw her laying on the ground. And I saw a cord run to the top of the car, and I yelled at Tim. I said, "Hey, we got a body." Well, I took a step back. He come around the corner. He come around the car. He took a look. Oh shit. So away we went. Yeah, we started doing our thing. And then, but Tim got a hold of Sean, and they started, Sean said, "I take it off, do your thing." He took photos. So I started taking photographs. Went all the way around the car, and then, took a couple shots of the inside of the car, keys in the ignition. It didn't look like it was in disarray too much. I mean, the purse was laying there. So I pulled the purse out to ID the driver. And as I did, when I set the purse on the hood, the first thing I see was a folded up piece of paper. Okay. So I unfolded the paper and I read it. It was obvious, and it was signed Jenny. It was all typed out. And there was no writing and no ink on it. It was just all typed. Set that aside, went through the purse, found the wallet, opened the wallet up, went through the wallet, found the ID. And at that point, I went, "Oh shit, I know this girl." So I stepped away. I looked at Tim. I said, "I know this girl." I said, I know her. So I kind of just stepped back at that point and let everybody else take and do what they needed to do. Sean showed up. Then the rest of the district, here we are.
Kenneth believes he can use his 5 years' experience as a detective to cover up his involvement. But what he doesn't realize is that it isn't just the physical evidence linking him to the crime. It's also the observations of his own partner, Officer Tim Patterson, which completely contradicts his story. From the moment they arrived at the crime scene, Tim noticed something off about Kenneth. He was sweating heavily and was visibly tense, which was quite unusual for an investigator like Kenneth. Then Tim spotted something else, a red mark in Kenneth's right eye, an injury that suggests he may have been involved in a physical struggle. But what truly raised suspicion was a critical mistake that Kenneth had made at the scene. Kenneth handled the note Jennifer left without gloves, a direct violation of basic evidence preservation protocol he should have followed instinctively as a trained investigator. To make matters worse, Kenneth claims he immediately told Tim that he recognized Jennifer after seeing her driver's license, but Tim remembers it differently. He recalls Kenneth waiting nearly 20 minutes before mentioning it, a delay that doesn't match how someone would typically react upon identifying a victim they supposedly knew.
Tim called Sean?
Yeah. Okay.
How long did it take him to get out there?
Tim or Sean?
Sean.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. 45 minutes in.
I guess what I'm asking is, you guys had a chance to secure everything at that point. You started processing what you could.
Correct. We taped it off. You know, Tim Grant taped it all off. I did the photos, and then once that was done, we just kind of stepped back and waited for Sean. Wait for the detective to get there.
About what time was it that you were up there?
When I found the car, when I was up patrolling.
Yes.
It was just before we found the car. I mean, literally, it was, I did the neighborhoods. I did freeway and went north.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Tim and I don't remember seeing him, but we must have had the same idea because he did virtually the same thing I did.
Okay.
I do know, I mean, I know that he come off of, I don't know whether or not he checked the neighborhoods or not, but I know he went over and checked the businesses up a freeway before he came north.
Okay.
Like I said, we pulled on. I had enough time to get up there, see the car, stop it quick, and turn around, and he was pulling up.
How long was Tim up there? Was he up patrolling the neighborhoods and stuff too?
I never saw him.
Where's the freeway at? Not to him.
It's north of the juvenile prison.
Going to the expressway goes in.
Yep, east. Yep, that's the only way it goes.
And there's bedwars in there.
Yeah, when you guys drove up there, I don't know if you paid that shot, but when you drive up there, the prison's here,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's like a trucking terminal.
Do you see any other cars in the area or anything? Especially outer, it's kind of dead end.
Right. There's not usually a lot of traffic up there. We will get the occasional parkers up there. We will get the occasional dumpers, scrap dumpers and trash dumpers and stuff like that. We've actually noticed out to keep an eye on the double north end because people are just dumping everywhere. But the businesses, they're on Freeway Lane. There's 3 or 4. There's one up on the hill and a couple in the back. I mean, they're all, it's just a normal route, it's just part of general patrol. Just checking the businesses, making sure that, everything is clean and clear. And then one of the businesses up there is kind of like a truck dock. So there's, traffic in and out. So seeing traffic on our drive is not usually cause for concern on that side of town because not only do you have those businesses, but just a step down, then you've got the Wolverine Human Services.
It's obvious that Kenneth wouldn't randomly dump a body anywhere visible. He would rather choose a location that would be unlikely to draw any unnecessary attention. For him, the department's gun range fits that perfectly. Remote, rarely visited, and far from regular traffic. And if you love watching killers like Kenneth realize they aren't winning an Oscar anytime soon, subscribe. That's literally all we do here.
When did you first see the body?
Looked like I quite made it to the bumper of the car, yeah. Okay, that was close, but within a few steps of the bumper, maybe.
Okay, so you didn't see a body as you were getting out of your car walking up. It wasn't until you got right up on there until you knew right then.
But
and what did you see? Tell me about what you saw there.
well, I had my flashlight out, and as I walked up, I saw the door. I kind of did a peek inside, just to, see if anyone was laying there, I guess. And then I went down, and as I went down, I saw her laying there, and that's when I saw the run it, and I'm like, oh. So I got a little closer. I looked, saw around her neck, followed it up, saw it was attached to the luggage rack. My God, so I called him. That's what I told Tim. I said, hey, we got a body over here.
Don't fall. You guys check the vitals. Then was it? But I mean, why not?
I don't know. I guess probably not to disturb. Well, I mean, there was no movement, and when I looked, there wasn't, from a distance, there didn't appear to be any chest rise. I mean, lips were kind of, it wasn't giving me the impression that it was, that she was alive.
What was the purpose of grabbing the person, looking through the purse?
To identify the driver, to identify the person with vehicle. I think Tim had already run the plate and came back to a male subject, and I always said I was a male subject. So, but, but,
Do you remember who the plate came back to?
I think it was Donald.
Do you know who did the notification to the next Ken?
I mean, Luke Sean did. But his team, he was in charge, so. But, yeah, I think.
And at that point, Sean knew that you knew her, right?
Yes. When Sean arrived, I told her that I knew her.
You know her family? Tell me about how you knew her.
I met her, but yeah, I crowd more than 10 years ago. So when I first started out here, just in my normal duties, we would do bar checks. That she used to frequent the Backstreet Bar, or how I got to know the waitresses and the people over there. She was in there. We got introduced. Yeah, we just talked. Started up a casual friendship, and been touch and go ever since. We talked for a while, then we kind of do our own thing and go our separate ways. And probably blue. She'll call me or I'll call her. Hey, what's going on? Yeah.
Was she working there, or was she just
Not a just patient. She knew most of the people that worked there.
How old is she?
Young guy, probably 30, I think 30, 35. No. Here, very like there. But, remember from CRAD. So
Is she a local gal?
the last I knew she lived in the city, but I know that she had gotten broken into a few times recently. She called and told me that, and it was my understanding that she didn't move back in with her parents.
Okay. Do you remember where in the city?
Right. No.
There were little tracks with,
So
you know, if they're in the area or
they're in the area. I think it's somewhere in Bridgeport, but I'm not sure. I don't know what the address is or anything like that.
Jennifer was 32 years old and single at the time of her death. She was known as an outgoing, people-oriented woman who loved hunting, camping, and Michigan football. It's likely through those shared interests that she met Kenneth, and the two eventually became acquainted. Kenneth, however, was already married when he met Jennifer, but he continued the relationship regardless, a decision that ultimately killed Jennifer. During their relationship, Jennifer became pregnant. At the time of her death, she was 34 weeks pregnant with Braxton, meaning Kenneth took 2 lives that night. And despite his claims that he never knew Jennifer's parents, that statement doesn't hold up because Jennifer had already told her family that Kenneth is actually Braxton's father. Her parents were aware of him and his affair with Jennifer, which directly contradicts his attempt to distance himself from both Jennifer and the child.
when was the last time you talked to her?
She called actually last night. She called me. Didn't leave a message, or no, didn't leave a message. Trade method. Yeah, she did. She left a message to say, "Hey, what's up? Give me a call when you can." Something like that. And I called her back. I don't know. Sometime around 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. Did I get an answer from her?
Did you leave her voicemail or anything?
No.
Did she call you back? What was her mood or demeanor last time you talked to her?
Not normal. She was a pretty happy, jovial person. She just, I don't know, said she was tired, wasn't feeling good. But that's uncharacteristic for her. usually when we talk, she's just, calls up walls. Yeah, this is going on, and that's what yada, yada, yada. But it's been, and it's been like that for a few months now. I mean, when she talks, you just something different about her. I guess I just chalked it up to, the stress of being broken into and being back at, back with her parents or in her parents' house or whatever, and, being pregnant. My wife was pregnant, many years ago. She was moody too. So I guess I just kind of let it go at that.
Okay. Sure. I don't think, Kristen, when was the last time you actually talked to her?
Yesterday. Would have been the day before yesterday now, but
Today's now Wednesday.
yeah, well, it would have been,
During the day, Tuesday?
no, would have been, I think, Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I chatted with her briefly on Monday.
She call you, you call me.
Nothing in there.
Okay.
I think she called me, but I didn't know what's for that.
During these times, you said her mood kind of changed. She mentioned anything specific that she's having problems with?
No, not really.
What about her health?
And she never made mention of anything within the last few months or so.
And
Do you notice any change in her?
No, I mean, like I said, she didn't form the same person that I remember her being. She formed more stressed, tired all the time.
The reason Jennifer was nervous, tired, and anxious in her recent times was because she wanted Kenneth's name on her child's birth certificate, which deeply offended Kenneth as he was already married and believed it would destroy his marriage and reputation. And when he refused to acknowledge this, Jennifer took it even further and told him she would turn to the friend of the court. This is the legal office that handles child support and custody matters to secure legal and financial support for them, an option which only made Kenneth more frustrated.
What kind of car did she drive?
That one is her regular car. I didn't recognize it. There's a lot of those cars, and I wasn't focusing on the vehicle per se. I was trying to look inside the vehicle. I was looking past most of the characteristics that would ordinarily stick out because I was busy focused on what was possibly inside or what could be inside. It didn't dawn on me until, like I said, started, putting pieces together, and it was like, okay, yep, this is her car.
Well, anytime you're coming up to a car at night and then dirt road, you're not really paying attention.
I'm not looking at.
You're looking to see what's inside, or you don't get hurt. Do you see any? Obviously, you don't know anything about drugs, or you said she never mentioned anything about health. Did she ever make mention of being on any prescription meds, or was she seeing a therapist or anything like that?
To just go into her doctor's appointments for a pregnancy. But as far as like the psychologist or anything, not that I'm aware of.
That part. What did she tell you about the pregnancy?
Not a whole lot. Next year, usually the first question is, hey, how you feeling? How's it going? And everything good with, with you and the baby? That kind of stuff. But it's none of my business. So I mean, I didn't want to pry into her personal life that much. So I just, whatever she volunteered to tell me is what she told me years ago wasn't like.
But everything seemed to be going okay with it.
Started her health one, yeah.
What did she tell you about baby's daddy?
She didn't. Never said anything about it. So I wasn't aware that she was dating anybody, but yeah.
You explained if she would have told you?
Not really.
So if she's seeing about being pregnant, I mean, you said her health was good and all that kind of stuff, but
Whenever I would ask her, hey, how are things going? I pretty much got the answer. Things healthy and I'm doing good. Then she kind of left it at that. Not the typical for her. Like I said, she was usually a bubbly, outgoing person, talked all the time about anything and everything. And it just, I don't know, it just seemed different. She was just more reserved.
and the obvious question is, did you have a relationship with her, or is this just something where you guys were just friends?
A physical relationship.
As Kenneth keeps making these false statements over and over again, he doesn't realize he's only making it easier for detectives to see through him and piece together that he's the one who actually staged her death to look self-inflicted.
One of my concerns is obviously we got to talk to you and Tim, because it was brought up that you knew this gal. Yeah, and I've got some questions. When you come up and you see the vehicle and stuff, and there's a lot of vehicles like that, I guess. Yeah, I understand that. Sounds like you knew her pretty well. I mean, well enough to recognize her.
Correct.
And it just, you hear the plate, you get the note out, you see the name on it, and then you see her ID. What were you thinking? Well, I mean, what was going through your head?
Well, as I'm starting to hear all of this stuff I'm going, the first thing that went through my head is, can't be. And as I'm doing that, I'm going through her bill folder, whatever it was. There's her ID out. Shit. It is. So, I mean,
How did you not recognize her when we first walked up?
I guess that's what I'm asking.
well, given the position that she was in, and that's the hard part is she is laying on her back, but the way it was twisted, it just, and when I saw the body, I went, okay, body, I go into work mode. Anybody else around? Is there anybody else in the car? Started looking around. Nope. Okay, everything's good. Got a body, Tim. He came over and took a look. Until I started going around doing all this other stuff, the pieces started falling into line. I said, she's, got a bunch of stickers on the back of her car. I didn't see those time I first pulled up on the car.
The contacts you had with her, is that the vehicles she normally drove?
Usually.
Does she have any other vehicle?
Oh,
Are you aware of any other vehicles?
when I've seen her, it's always been a vehicle.
It's always been in that vehicle when you've seen her. Okay. You say stickers on the car. What?
Like on the back.
Like bumper stickers?
Yeah.
Not displayed on? Oh.
So like I said, I was, I could tell that was when I pulled up on the car, I was looking inside for bodies. I wasn't looking at the outside of the car for decorations.
Okay.
And the stuff that she was wearing tonight, is that typical of what she'd wear when you saw her?
Yeah,
I guess not your cool. No. This doesn't sit right with me either. And I don't mean to sound like I'm just thinking, how would you not recognize her? It's just odd.
Yeah, yes. Just kind of go into cop mode at that point. It's just, okay, what do I got to do? Start running through your head. What are the things that need to be done? Once I walked up, I saw that there was a body there. I took, a quick flashlight, pulled it like that. Tim got a body, and he came over, checked it. I backed away. We started doing our thing. He got on the phone with Sean right away and started doing our thing. And once we started going around the car, and he's just starting to fall into place. It was like, I'm thinking to myself, it can't be. It can't be. Then, look, I know what you're saying.
But you got a good enough look at her to see that her chest wasn't rising and falling, that her lips were blue.
Correct.
Great.
I said, that's not a position that I ever see her in. That's not how, I mean, when I see her, she has got her hair done, you know, I mean, all of that, and, you know, I don't see her in a disheveled state, so.
What's going on with your eye there? I'm not gonna get pink eye, am I?
No. I was wrestling. I got a pup at home that's probably 3 or 4 years old. I was rescuing her with her, and she got me with one of her claws.
Oh, before I forget, that note that you found, was that protected for prints?
Good. Hard, and I may have touched it, cornering it. But importantly, when I picked it up and ended the shot, I don't know if I had gloves on.
Picked it up from,
The car.
well, you said you had it on the hood of the car?
Yeah, I'd taken it out of her purse or off the top of her purse, unfolded it, and laid it on the hood of the car.
No, when you got it at her purse out and stuff, would you have had gloves on that?
Yeah, I had gloves on there.
Okay.
But when I took it to shot, I don't think I had gloves on.
Okay. Thank you. Did anybody else handle it? Did Tim handle it at all? He touched the note?
And I want to see us. I don't know for sure. Okay. Thank you, I am.
Did you guys bag it?
I don't know what time did with it. Okay.
So, but
When you say gloves, what kind of gloves?
That the latex.
Latex gloves, hats, gloves, or anything like that. If you're a latex glove.
oh,
And my teeth are full. Do you guys mind if I take a second?
No, and then I've been performing more than I've been here. So
Excuse me, just you need anything?
I'm good.
And while Kenneth believes that his story is perfect, he's about to find out otherwise. Once detectives return and lay out every piece of evidence they have against him.
I got some questions that I can't help but come to forward. Jennifer's baby, who was the father of that child?
I have no idea.
Is there a chance that you're the father of that child, Ken?
None.
Hmm?
None. Never saw with her.
You've never had a relationship with her?
No.
Is there any reason that she would have told people that you were the father of that child?
Not that I know.
She has.
Come again.
She has told people that you're the father of that child. Her family was well aware of who the father of that child was. Didn't know you personally, but was well aware of what your name was, where you worked, what you did, and everything. Wow. No possibility of that?
None.
I mean, that's really easy for us to determine, obviously. But, you know, now's the time to get that out if there is. I mean, stuff like that happens. We all know that. We're all big boys in this room. We all know that stuff like that happens. But yeah, that's a concern that I've got is, I don't know why her family knew she was expecting, obviously. Family due very soon, 3 weeks. Yeah, and they were fully, was apparently no questions at all about it. They were fully aware. Ken Love, police officer, Buena Vista Township Police Department, was the father of the child. They didn't know much about you. They never had met you. But they were fully aware that you were the father of the child by name, occupation, where you work, and everything, Ken.
Not. Well, that would explain why we're doing this. I'm not the father of the child. I could never have that woman.
Okay, great. Well, that's, like I said, that's one of the big questions that comes out.
Then.
But Ken, if you are in this room between the three of us, we need to know that. Obviously, as this investigation goes on, we will be able to determine who the father of that child is. And you know, as well as we know, when you're doing an investigation, if somebody lies to you about some insignificant or rather insignificant issue, you got to ask the question about why. You know, why would that happen? Why did that happen? So maybe a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little embarrassing or whatever, but are we going to make that determination? Is it going to be determined in our investigation? I mean, we will determine who the father of the child is. And when that's all said and done, is the answer that we get from our labs going to say it's Ken Blue too?
I don't think so. I have an ancestor, so.
Well, you don't think so, or you do that? I mean, you know or you don't. I mean, there's one way that a child is conceived. That's very clear. I know that. Okay. Absolutely no way possible that you could be the father of the child.
Correct.
And it's also our information that this morning there was quite a period of time that nobody could get a hold of you. And last night, rather than they couldn't get you on the radio. They different ways through the MDT and through different ways they couldn't get a hold of you. Couldn't get any response.
About 5 minutes worth.
Yeah, we talked like that. I thought it was a little bit longer than that, but we don't have the records on that yet. But there was apparently some period of time nobody could get a hold of you. Any idea why that would have been?
I got my radio on the other channel.
Which channel would you have?
Our admin channel. I had talked to Sarah before that.
Change from your main dispatch, you change it over to admin. All right. Now, when they do the alert tone thing, does that code work?
Yeah, unless it's on scan and it wasn't.
Oh, that's the only way it comes across. Right. On the admin, it's on scan. It'll scan. I'm not familiar with the radios that you guys have with central dispatch either. That was out of that one. So, there's it. Another thing, Ken, I guess that I'm really having an issue with is I can't understand how you could have driven down there, you could have seen this vehicle, the girl that you've known for about 10 years, that the only time you've ever met her, that's the vehicle she's been in, that she's been driving. You end up parking, you get out on foot, and you see her laying there. You see her, you described to us well enough to know that she's already deceased. There's no reason to do any life-saving measures, because you can tell her, I think in your words, her lips were purple, or no rise and fall in her chest, or whatever. But yet you still don't know who she is. That doesn't make sense to me.
You're talking about a matter of minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, from what you've described in your context with her, I guess I would have thought when you drove down on her drive and you saw there's Jennifer's vehicle, I would have think in the headlights you'd have noticed that when you were back away.
I mean, that's a common vehicle.
You've met with her at different places. Has there ever been a time that you've met Jennifer down there at the end of Outer Drive? Never have been down there. Always has been in a parking lot someplace, always
Public area.
She was from the city, Ken. It was better in a public spot. Why would she go down there? How would she even know that existed down there?
How glad he did.
Why would she have told her family tonight that she was going to meet Ken?
I have no idea.
She called me. They were expecting her home before anybody contacted them because she was late. But early in the evening, they knew where she went.
I don't know. I mean, she called me. I haven't spoken to her at all today.
She called you and left you a voicemail.
Correct. I returned her call and did not leave her a voicemail.
Well, she didn't answer.
No.
So her phone will show your call back to her as a missed call.
Shouldn't.
It doesn't. It shows an answered call. It don't show as a missed call. You know how phone you go through the phones and there's received and there's sent and there's missed, and your call to her was a received call. Not a real long conversation, but obviously long enough to be a time.
I never spoke to
a received call. So
Kenneth is now ultimately caught in his own web of lies. Detectives even know that not only did he receive calls from Jennifer on August 30th, he also called her back. The call logs show Jennifer reached out twice, at 8:28 p.m. and 8:43 p.m., and just 5 minutes later, at 8:48 p.m., Kenneth called her again. The conversation was long enough because the call logs clearly show the call was answered and received, not missed.
how many times did she call you the same day? By last evening?
Just the once.
Just one time. And you?
There were, I mean, when Sean was playing with her phone, after we found her, he sent, evidently, I think there was 1 or 2 calls.
That was after you brought her out there.
Correct.
Okay.
Prior to that, that's just the once.
One call from you to her.
Yeah.
And one call from her to your phone. And she left your voicemail.
Hey.
And what was the content of that voicemail again?
Just say, hey, what's up? I'm passing through the area. You got time to meet?
Didn't sound upset. Didn't sound angry. Didn't. Just if you got time to meet.
Something like that to my girl that time. Exactly.
Ken, did you call her back and make a plan to meet?
Yep.
Why would she have told family that she was going to meet you this evening?
I don't know.
And then the two of you end up down there?
I can't answer that now. I don't know.
It's just weird. It's just.
I agree with you. But I guess now, I guess her letter makes a little more sense. But
For what?
her letter,
What do you mean?
about the married man part.
Oh, and the
She
note
was talking, yeah, she was talking about me.
because
I have no idea why she would say something.
I don't think she named you in the letter.
I don't recall seeing anything in the letter, but
I mean, you're first on scene at this car where this gal's never been before, that you're aware of, probably has never been before in her life, doesn't even know where it's at. It's, it's not a dispatch call. You just happen upon it because you happen to be in the area and you happen to know her and you happen to be the first one on the scene.
no. Sure. I mean, I get it, guys. I mean,
And there was a period there that people couldn't get a hold of you. And then we have this situation with the family who knows who you are, knows you as the father of their soon-to-be grandchild.
that I have no idea who her family is.
She's supposed to meet with you tonight.
Yeah, that's I get that. You're right. I have no idea why. I don't know why she would have said that. Unless she said, hey, I'm going to call him. I don't know. I mean, I know she called me.
Yeah, again, it's straight up. They knew she was going to be you.
And then
And they knew you by name and occupation and where you worked to be the father, as Jason said, the father of their grandchild that's soon to be.
I have no idea why she would say it. I mean, that's unsettling.
They also knew that she had plans to be in contact right away with a friend of the car. And they all knew her child. They were aware of that.
And then we look at this note that you found that's typed. And you know what that means as a former detective. Doesn't mean much, does it?
No.
It doesn't fit right, especially with how many females you ever know.
I hear you.
No, Ken, we can't help but think that something went terribly wrong here. There was a discussion, there was a conversation, and it just got out of hand for whatever reason. Something went terribly wrong here.
But I can tell you that it didn't happen. Something went terribly wrong with her. That was no part of it.
Kevin, the biggest thing that was, just tell the truth.
I know.
Regardless of anything else, just tell the truth. I'm sure you've told other people that. Because the truth will always manifest itself in one way or another at some time or another.
That's correct.
Okay, so just make sure there's nothing that we don't need to know now. We're not going to try and pull all the tricks on you and all that shit. It doesn't do us any good. You know where you're sitting. You know how all this stuff works. So that's a call you're going to have to make. Because we're not going to try and do Yoda, Jedi mind trick bullshit. You use those same tricks yourself.
No, I'm glad you have to do it now. So.
Yeah, to some degree, it's hard not to. You get habit
Right.
after 25 years. But I think that should tell you something about us too. In that, obviously, you can tell that we're pretty uncomfortable about that because as cops, we're thinking one thing. As police officers, and a guy that, I don't know how much Al's worked with you, but I met you years ago. Don't really remember you, but I know I never had a bad impression. You certainly don't have a bad reputation around here, around this county, around this city. So, here, a guy like me and Al struggling with this right now because we're looking at one of our own sitting here and going, how do you talk to a guy about this? And I'm sure you saw it coming, but
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, once I realized I knew her, and okay, bring it on. I mean, it's gonna happen. So,
but there's a lot of things that have come up already that, I mean, the flags, brother, the flags.
I know, and I don't know why she would have said something like that. I don't know why she would say that I was the father of her child. I don't get that. That totally dumbfounds me.
Well, maybe you aren't the biological father, but have you talked about trying to help her out or trying to support her or anything?
I told her on many occasions that I would always be there for her. That it, I mean, she never told me how or when or who she got pregnant with. I don't know anything about that, but she's a friend of mine, and I would help her out in any way that I could, just like I would help anybody in this building out in any way that I could, male, female, or dog. It didn't matter. They are a friend of mine. I keep my friends close.
Well, and it sounds like she's pretty infatuated with you. I mean, and look at it. You don't know what she does. She's hanging out at the bar and she's got a young strapping lad who's a cop that's befriending her. Is it a meal ticket? Is it something where she's just, I don't know, infatuated with you? And
I wouldn't
be the father.
I don't know. I wouldn't think after 10 years that it would be a meal ticket. We've never gone out on dates. We've never bought her gifts, and vice versa. She's never done that for me either. I mean, I don't know why she would say something like that.
She ever asked you to leave your wife for her?
No.
Ever even hint about it?
No. Never.
Did she know you were married?
Yeah, absolutely. She knew I had a son.
I mean, it's clear you guys have a pretty close relationship.
We talk a lot.
Personal stuff.
Ken, you said you told her you'd help her out. Did you ever tell her that you'd help her financially with the child?
I told her if I could, I would. I knew she was struggling. She's not making a lot at whatever job she was doing. She wasn't making a lot.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, if a friend came to you and asked you, hey, I need some help, that's kind of the impression that I was getting. Is that, if she needed help, I would help.
How did you feel when you realized who it was?
I about threw up. It made me sick to my stomach. I had to walk away at that point. I was just like, oh my God, this is somebody that I know. And it's not somebody that just because I've worked out here for 14 years that I know. It's somebody that I know personally, sitting here going through this. And I know, feeling like I'm the one, being accused of doing something to her.
Yeah. And I don't want to go that far to actually say those words. You know that. Because it's not comfortable.
Right, but it's there.
With all that shit that we just talked about, man, it just stinks. It stinks. There's no other way to say it. And it sucks, man. I don't like being in this position.
You and me both.
Well, I can appreciate that because I don't know how I would feel if I was in your shoes right now. I feel for it. I do.
After hours of making false statements, Kenneth finally breaks and tells detectives the truth.
Why is it that I didn't feel like the suspect to return? I remember this fire.
Well, we've kind of discussed the issues and we talked about what we're seeing and what we're thinking, and I think you can understand we've got to do what we've got to do. We've got to do this investigation. And sort it all out. Answer as many questions as we can. No different than any investigation that you've done. Many of them you've got to answer as many of the questions that are out there as can be answered, and that's what we're trying to do. Answer as many of those questions as we can answer. And our hope is at the end that everything is good. Are you uncomfortable giving the consent? Are you unsure if you want to do that?
I'm comfortable with the whole thing that we do.
Clem, and I understand that. We both understand that. But I can tell you that sitting on this side of the table for me, it's very uncomfortable for me too.
But as we discussed before, too, the truth will manifest itself at some point or in one fashion or another. And like you said, you don't have any concerns here, so
Then I can't tell you what the best. I did in fact sleep out there. If I was cool. You can't say that she ever told me that this was their baby, or this baby was mine.
How long ago was it? Was the timing right that it could be?
I don't know. I can remember. I mean, it was.
It's our understanding from what we've been told that she's about 8 months pregnant. Puts us back around the first of the year, January-ish.
I never did the math. Yeah, I suppose it could be. Mike, I suppose it could be about that time. But so this baby is mine. Wow.
you don't see us jump off the boundary.
No, but
But, as we discussed before, Ken,
no, it went from bad to worse. Yeah, I know.
well, it didn't go from bad to worse because you're answering a question and getting out ahead of something that we were going to find out anyway, right?
I don't know if it is or not. I mean,
But if there's a possibility, that's what we wanted to know. That's
I know
important
that
that you know it's possible.
I know that I know that she said she would have help. I guess I just didn't come out with it in the beginning because, my wife.
We understand that, Ken. We understand that. I think I told you before this. That's a very sensitive situation. We understand that.
Did she talk to you about possibility if that was your child?
Not really. I mean, tell me what happened. She kind of hinted at it, and I said, John, it's gospel. You were on a bell, and I used. And she said, so I'm saying it's gospel. It could be. That's possible. It's possible. Did I don't serve you? Yeah. First good for you. But at that point, the deed was done. You didn't know about it.
Had she mentioned anything about Brenda Card?
To you? I think, yeah, she did once. She said something about, she was going to have to go and, she was, wow, that's a great freedom. She said, from the people that she's talked to, and she's got to give them a list of 5 people that she slept with who could potentially be fathers. They would then have to be contacted by a prison vocal swaps and DNA test out to prove who the father was. But did she come up and say that she was going to come after me for child support? Did the comment break? I don't know. I don't think it did. It didn't seem like it did. Or I would have moved in, but
Did your conversations with Jennifer about the father of the child ever get into other possibilities? I mean, as far as names, I guess, she would know whether there's other possibilities of being the father or not. Did she ever talk about that?
she said I wasn't the only one looking, but she don't kill. She didn't give her names of other guys that she slept with.
But she didn't say that it can't be anybody but you, Kelly.
The easiest way to clear all doubt about anything.
Like they would sleep with her. Yeah. Did you kill her? Anything else?
Did you meet her today down at the end of her drive? Did you have a phone conversation with her tonight and agree to meet somewhere?
I get time today of what conversation?
Is it possible you are the father of that child?
With my spotlight, so. Yeah, it's probably possible.
Even after hours of talking with detectives, Kenneth refuses to admit any role in Jennifer's death, only confessing that he had been physical with her. But the evidence at the scene tells a completely different story. Swabs taken from Jennifer Webb's face contained both her DNA and Kenneth's, clearly indicating that she resisted and tried to fight him off. Moreover, his DNA was found all over the crime scene, on Jennifer and on her belongings, showing that his involvement in this crime was far greater than he was willing to admit. Ultimately, on October 11, 2012, Kenneth Blue was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder, assault causing a and felony firearm possession. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for Jennifer's murder, along with an additional 65 to 100 years for the death of Braxton.
We hope you enjoyed today's video. 85% of our viewers aren't subscribed, so if this is the kind of content you come back for, just hit subscribe. It's the single biggest thing you can do to support the channel. If you want to keep watching more, check out one of the most intense cases we've ever covered right here, or catch up on our latest upload right here.